If I was to use 3 words to describe my space, it definitely would be eclectic, colorful, and a maximalist. Hi Apartment Therapy, my name is Heather and welcome to my 630 square foot apartment here in Hollywood, California. Come on in. This apartment building used to be a hotel. So when you walk in, the layout feels kind of more like an apartment hotel situation. There's a walk-in closet. And then the second closet is actually where the Murphy bed used to be. I have been collecting and enjoying color, print, and pattern my entire life. I mean, it's just kind of a part of my DNA. It's like who I am. I just tried to work with the lighting. It's a darker apartment, we have indirect lighting. So instead of trying to fight it, I just tried to sort of go with it. So using more jeweled tones with small pops of energy, and it's kind of unfolded to what it is today. I moved here August 2011. And I had found this apartment on a Craigslist ad because I was getting ready to go to Burning Man. So I met with a real estate agent. She showed me the apartment. It was demoed, nuts and bolts and all kinds of things all over the place. And so she just said to me, you know, just use your imagination. Came home and the construction worker fixing it apparently had quit. It was like not really in the headspace to do home improvements. And I sort of had to. My top priority when it comes to curating my space is joy, always. I always circle back to that. Like what brings me joy, what makes me feel inspired, what is comfortable. A lot of the things that are in my home are collected from my travels. The little gecko from above that came from Oaxaca, Indonesia, Portugal, Switzerland. This one came from Laos, Indonesia, flea market in New York City, Vietnam, to Mexico, Oaxaca, Indonesia with the frog and the mushroom. This is so me. The bench came from a trip when I was in Indonesia. We had saw these woodworkers, but had all these it looked like stains. And so I asked the guy, is there any way that we could do some really cool carving to kind of eliminate that? He added the cuffs himself, or the bracelets, to the legs to create sort of a sense of balance. From what I've heard from past managers and people that have lived here for a long period of time, at one point it actually was a brothel, and that always excites me, you know, girl power, right? They beware of pickpocket and loose women. That makes sense that I have something honoring the ladies of leisure. This was the jump off point for the whole wall. Like I look at this space like as if it was one big square, you know, and where's that center point of that square gonna be? And so that's where I hung the insect piece. Went center and then I spread it out. Or like when I'm looking at the window and I wanted to create this it's almost like a heartbeat, like a rhythm, you know? It goes up and down, up and down, up and down, you know, as opposed to one linear line, because I definitely am not one linear line. This is actually extra tile from the bathroom. I think it looks kind of cool because it kind of creates this sort of sense of balance, having duplicate materials but in different spaces. My grandparents have all passed, so you know, there's been a lot of inherited items that have come my way, and some unexpected things like some taxidermy pieces from my grandpa, which I would never have thought would ever be a part of my life. Do I love it? Do I hate it? I don't know, but here it is, and I decided to give it the Gucci, you know, campaign with the scarf around its neck to make it look a little bit more friendly. It's my National Geographic corner. Especially when it comes to inheriting things, if I really want to keep it, then I will, at that point, make an assessment of things that I have. That, okay, maybe it's time for this thing to go, or I can sell it or give it away. That chair actually belonged to my great-grandmother, so that chair is over 100 years old, and underneath of it, it was this sort of nubby, kind of rusty red color. And my mom and I went sourcing. We found this beautiful iridescent silk piping. I wanted to have it just because it had so much history, and it actually was a pair, but I didn't have space for the two, so I just took one and had it redone. This sofa used to be 2 cushions with 2 large cushions here in the back. And then when I wanted this pink situation, I decided to get rid of the back cushions because I liked to have a variety of throw pillows, and to turn this into one solid piece so it felt more kind of like a small daybed. I just love the way it looks having one solid front. My kitchen was already this color, and so I was like, how to get a way to make it sort of be, you know, like there was a conversation going on. Oh my God, the wallpaper has the best story. So my best friend Rami and I, we ended up in some Target. She saw the wallpaper in the clearance bin, and there was about 5 rolls. It was like less than $10 a roll, you know, which if anybody knows anything about wallpaper, that is a hell of a deal. We bought it, we're like, okay, we'll just figure it out later. So I came home and then did the measuring and figured out I was 2 rolls short. This particular print was discontinued. I had contacted Target themselves, I had the corporate office, and then I went on to Instagram and I kept on posting about the wallpaper, and then this girl had reached out to me, who now we are friends, and she had said, I know exactly where the wallpaper is. One of her girlfriends was the manager of a Goodwill down in Orange County, and they had a partnership with Target, and so she called the general manager, and the manager confirmed that the wallpaper was there and there was enough. So she hid the rolls that I needed in the store to make sure that nobody else bought it. It was a long story, but I was determined, and here it is. Oh, the Fringe. When the wallpaper was going up and the ceiling was being painted, Rami had said, you know, we should put some sort of fringe or something there so it felt like a canopy. Rugs can definitely be a great way to sort of box in the areas within one gigantic space. I love the Moroccan rugs. I think layering rugs has a really cool visual effect. And it also adds more cushion under your feet, and it absorbs sound. I love to clean, and I know that sounds a little psycho. I literally vacuum almost every day. I have a cordless little Dyson vacuum. I find it so satisfying. I absolutely make my bed every day, because like if the bed is looking chaotic, I kind of feel chaotic. So I like it to look like photo ready. This closet actually is where the original Murphy bed used to be, but it is now one of my closets. The space-saving hangers. I chose the same color that is of my sofa. Once again, some cohesiveness, some balancing of color. And this I purchased to hang all of my baseball caps. It looks nice in an open space. One of my splurges was my Missoni bathrobe. I absolutely love that thing, and it goes with the aesthetic of my apartment. I love my swivel chair for my desk. I love my dining chairs. Oh, actually another thing that I really love that I purchased was my small little dishwasher. That thing is a game changer. Here it is. It's small, it's compact, it gets the job done. It's good for 1 person, maybe 2 at max. My latest DIY was my countertop. I would love to have real terrazzo, but for right now, it's just a contact paper. That was a mission to install. I did that all myself, because it's just one piece of paper, you know, that you're sticking and trying to get without the bubbles. It's a great solution for something temporary, because at the end of the day, this is a coated paper, and so any sort of like hot pans or scratching is going to destroy it. When I added the contact paper, then I decided to switch out all the cabinet pulls. I wanted to change it and to bring in a little bit more of orange and add this little pop of color. I feel like a great tip is this magnetic plate to store all of your chef's knives, because who wants to go into a drawer and like dig around for a knife? You end up cutting yourself, but also it preserves the tip. All these magnets are from places that I have visited, and I always find that when you're traveling, it's very easy, to purchase a magnet. It's small, it's light, and it also is a great way to sort of keep the memory of where you've been. I know it's kind of a lot, but I am a lot, so here you go. My dining area is set up more kind of like an office area because I'm in school. I'm studying architecture design and interior design. Here's my drafting table where I work off of often, so I do all of my sketches and my playing here. When they did the renovations, this is the part that makes me absolutely mental. They put the new electrical on the outside of the wall, and I literally cried when I came back in. So I just find little ways to sort of, you know, live with it. I found this little handmade ceramic zebra. And then this little vertical display cabinet, actually, it came white. And then I spray painted it this dark teal color, trying to match the wallpaper in the other room. This is my witchy little area with my astrology books, my tarot cards, my affirmation cards, my magic 8-ball, which sometimes I go to this for advice. Like when I can't figure out if I should do something or not, I literally will be like, should I? And it will say yes or no. And lately it's been having a really bad attitude, so I'm kind of taking a break from the magic 8-ball. Oh, and these are my grandma's opera glasses, which I think are so awesome. The chandelier, I forget what the shades looked like originally, but I had bought new shades for it and then spray painted it this same color as my walls. And then I added the Fringe trim. Being in school, I have a lot of books and supplies, and I was trying to figure out where I was going to store and how I was going to store it, you know. So I ended up purchasing this credenza. I love working with this when I'm like trying to figure out new color schemes. I'm a huge fan of sunglasses. At one point I thought I was gonna be a sunglass designer. I got my Gaudi book. But even graffiti, such a cool way of gathering inspiration. I love street art. Mr. Frank Lloyd Wright, a genius in his own right for American architects. You can never have enough books. Boo! Ta-da! This particular little vanity, in the design world, this would be the incorrect size, but for me, it's like I needed to maximize the most amount of space as possible so I could keep all of my hot tools and hair supplies and everything and makeup down below. And then in here, toilet paper and Q-tips. I put this unlacquered brass faucet in that came from Morocco, which I absolutely love. And I love how it's like oxidized, and you can see little bits of like the green on here at the patina. I thought that was a nice way to take an inexpensive piece of furniture and make it look a little bit more luxe. The bathtub used to be white. I've had it reglazed black in order to hide all the different colors that started to create a ring around the edge because I'm always taking baths. And I feel like all the small details really matter in a space. So I switched out the handle on the toilet to this little Art Deco piece. Switched out the cabinet pulls to this little built-in, you know, I thought that looked kind of nice. I even changed the back plate here. I switched out the door handles. So these are real glass with a real brass rosette. I thought that was a really pretty addition to honor the Art Deco home that I live in. Even here with the toilet paper. I love the intentional look with the hand and the rod. 101 Dalmatians, you know? I guess I'm Cruella de Vil. Hello, and this is my walk-in closet. This was another DIY that I did myself. I had a few margaritas in me, do not recommend that. I decided to repaint, did not have a drop cloth. I was going to do a revamp, so I pulled everything out and I began to prep it for the painting, and then on the top is where I bought these plastic sheets of like faux tile, and I installed them and then also went ahead and repainted it the same color of the wall to kind of make it sort of disappear. After I was done painting and I saw that the floors were a disaster, I made just a blueprint of the floor. I took that paper in to this carpet manufacturer and I asked them could they cut and bind a rug that fit this unique shape so that I could cover the shame of the paint on the ground. I like to make it feel and look like a curated space. I found this shoe rack, and a way to kind of get everything to fit is by facing the shoes this way. All of my gel lacquer colors, my collection of hats, handbags and clutches, so I keep all of my purses and stuff in here, and then all of my jewelry, and then sunglasses are on display. And this space right here, I purchased these wallpaper tiles and install them because I wanted to sort of create this sense of a portal coming in. And then this right here is actually a jewelry cabinet, which is a lot of fun. And it lights up on the inside. But I love that I can make the whole thing disappear, you know, just by closing it and locking it up. But then it has a functional mirror too. I took the wallpaper and I added it here and got an X-Acto knife to cut it and to trim it so it kind of felt like it was sort of melting into each other. There used to be a flush mounted light that was in here, and decided just to add this cool little drop down pendant to bring a little bit of interest, but also it looks really cool when you're looking from the outside of the closet in because it kind of catches it right at the perfect height. All my jumpsuits or long trench coats, anything that's long, goes here on the left, and all my bedazzled fun jackets go on this side. And then I keep my luggage inside of luggage is all stored here. These are dust covers. A lot of these coats have a lot of beadwork or they're velvet. You know, I used to work in fashion, so these are just little tips. Getting the hangers, space-saving hangers that are all the same color, like it just does something psychologically when you're looking in your closet and you're trying to get ready, you know, like having this like, where it just looks like an order. Pants, once again, all on the same hanger because I feel like it just kind of adds a sense of organization, and I feel like it looks nice too. These little door pulls, I actually got these from Amazon. They kind of have like an equestrian sort of, you know, vibe to them. I'm a big fashion girly. It's fun. It's just like fun to get ready when everything is just all kind of organized like a little store. City lights. Look at the back. 20 bucks. I thrifted this. I clearly have an obsession with the Birkenstock sandal. This shoe is so great when you're traveling because it rinses and cleans off so easily, but I can walk miles in this shoe with no blister, you know? I mean, I know it's they're kind of dorky, but I love them and they're really comfortable, so I committed to it, and I pretty much have all of my favorite colors. Oh, and then we can't forget my fish flops. You know, this is for when you're getting ready and you're looking for stuff, but if you just want for mood and atmosphere, I usually turn this light off to sort of, you know, have a vibe. Like, I mean, there has been times when we've partied in this closet, you know, me and my friends have come in here and had some drinks. This room has definitely seen a lot. Even though the space is small, it's been used in multiple ways. I mean, the lighting has such a huge impact on the way things look in your space. At night, I feel like my apartment just sort of comes alive in a different way, you know? It's very moody, it's kind of witchy, it's kind of colorful. The small lamp that's down here with the dog and the gun, oh my God, I found that on a trip in Portugal. Didn't have this light at first, but then when we realized that it actually was a light by this switch, I took it to this lighting guy and I asked him, is there any way we can make him work, light him up? He needs to be holding something. I wish I knew more about it though. If anybody knows, holla. If you don't feel good within your space, look around. Like if something doesn't spark joy and if it's not comfortable and if it doesn't function correctly in the space, get rid of it immediately. That even goes for roommates. Reconsider. If it's not working, you know what I mean? Don't be afraid of color and pattern. If you're curious, try. Just give it a shot. I could imagine how having a lot of print and color would be really scary to some people. But for me, I love it. I love the challenge of it. I think that you're just taking one color or one material or one print and splitting it into two areas of your home might help. I mean, one of the easiest ways to transform a space is by painting. Just have some fun and realize that none of this is permanent, none of it's forever. You just do one small space and see how that resonates with you over time, and if you feel comfortable and you like what you're doing, then move into another room. You know, it doesn't have to all be done at once. Take something within your home. It could be anything. It could be an article of clothing. It could be a swatch of fabric. It could be whatever sparks joy that you're thinking, this is what I want to incorporate somehow, and take that with you when you're out there sourcing or looking for materials. And definitely, if you're trying to purchase fabric or any kind of upholstery for your home, get the samples first, bring it into your home before you make a decision before buying it in bulk, because the lighting will completely change the color. What home means to me is a place of safety, a place of comfort, a place where I can recharge my batteries, definitely a place for a creative outlet. Because in your home, you can kind of do things at your own pace. You can make your own little messes. I feel like it's really important to make sure that you feel your best within your home space, because if you feel good when you're here, you're gonna feel good out there.